Well, this has been a weird year. Just to clarify, in the first 2 weeks or not the first 2 weeks, but there was a 2-week period in March where I think it was the worst 2-week period in the history of the markets. It was a panic. And people didn't know where the markets were going. It was very disconcerting. Now, if you're 25, 35, 45, 50, and you don't need your money for 12, 15 years, it really shouldn't in any way affect your portfolio. If you have an understanding of this is what the market does, even with how disconcerting the whole thing is, right? Now, after that 2-week period, the market stabilized and they've actually recovered their losses. So, and that's not, people can't be surprised by the markets. One of the biggest market events ever was in October of 1987. The market was down 25% in one day. I remember when that happened. I had just started my career, and look, I mean, it had no impact on me, but that was such a staggering loss in one day, and we didn't have the kind of social media that we have now, that people felt their lives that any retirement that they wanted to have was over or was going to change. It was just devastating for people that had accumulated a lot of assets to see that kind of a loss in one day. People remember that day, but by the end of the year, the market had recovered. So the markets can move very quickly and violently.
And staying on the similar topic thread, because I've gotten this question, and a couple of people, said, well, ask Mark about this as well. He has some sort of oracle idea. Yeah. Firstly, I don't think, like in the same line with you were saying, like, we never know really what the market's going to do. And I think there's a bit of naivety to think that we can predict or control or expect.
Definitely.
I mean, it's just literally impossible. And this year's demonstrating a lot of, uncertainties that always out of our control, for sure. Do you, even though this is an extremely, let's say, in a way impossible to answer, do you think the market this year going into next year will pick up or remain stagnant, or we just don't know?
Well, we don't know. However, I have to say it wouldn't surprise me if the market ended up having an up year. And a part of that is just because the market can't surprise me anymore. John Bogle, who's famous for what he did at Vanguard and persevering and persisting with this concept of the index fund, said that he learned very early in his career, when he was quite young, I remember his first job, somebody pulled him aside and just said, "Hey, Bogle, nobody knows nothing." And the point is that, those commentators, it's fine to provide forecasts and ideas about what the markets are going, but nobody really has any idea what's going. If you had told people in the middle of March what the markets would do, and we'd have all the kind of stuff going on in the States here that we do, and have this whole pandemic thing and all that, that the markets would get back to their highs. I mean, come on, who would have said, "Oh yeah, that's I'm going to go long on the market. I'm all in." It would have been a preposterous notion.
Yeah, no, I just don't think we know. Like you said, if you're more than 10 years out from retirement, you shouldn't even be worrying about or thinking about these things. I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, I mentioned the idea of expectations when you're a consumer at any age, and how you work with somebody and how important those are. And I would certainly, caution people when you're looking for an advisor. Advisory firms that promote the notion that they can stay ahead of the market, or that have some sense of what's going on, to me, that's a huge red flag. However, there are many consumers that like to believe they exist and to like to hear that. "Oh, you're going to be watching my money and you'll take advantage of that." When we set up our business in the way that we did, PlanVision, it's liberating for us to not have to, I believe, imply that we know what's going on. We don't know any more than anybody else about where the markets are going.